it, but that's what made it so spongy and soft. It was also actually harvested in World War II and then sent out to the front line because it's very absorbent, so they use it as bandages. Yeah. So, very, very plentiful. If you look outside the left-hand side of the trolley, you can see the cedar tree just on the left, and all the bark is taken off the one side of the tree. So that's the local people harvesting the bark. They'll use it to make cedar hats, they'll use it for ropes for their canoes, but they take it off of the shaded side so that it can recover faster. But the culture is very much alive and doing well. Okay, so totem poles. All tell a different story. So the carvings mean a different thing, and the strength of a totem pole comes from the bottom because it's carrying the weight, not necessarily the top. And the lifespan of a totem pole is about 60 to 80 years, just in the natural habitat. And the local belief is that you don't maintain it. So don't varnish it or paint it or anything. Just leave it to run its natural life cycle, and then it reverts back into the forest. If a totem pole, because we've got some by City Hall that I'll show you, if it looked like those were going to fall down and injure somebody, they'd do a ceremony, take it down, and then lay it back in the forest. This is Roosevelt Elementary School. We have 5 elementary schools in Prince Rupert, 1 middle school and 1 high school. It was Acropolis Hill, but they changed the name to Roosevelt because of Roosevelt was the wartime president in World War II in 1942. So totem poles all tell a different stories. You can even defer a chief's ashes into a totem pole. And there's one very funny one where it's a shaming pole. So if there were 2 chiefs and one chief owed the other one money, they can put up a shaming pole which would face the chief who owed the debt, facing his territory, facing his land. When he pays that debt, they'll paint the hands red or they'll put some copper on the totem pole, and then it'll turn slightly away from the other chief's territory, but they never take it down. So that chief that didn't pay his debt, there's always a story to tell. We have 1 private school. We've got Annunciation, which is the only private school in Prince Rupert, so all the children there do wear uniforms to school. It is summer vacation at the moment, so the schools have been closed for July, August, and the kids go back on the 8th of September. Everybody around Prince Rupert really travels for summer, so we do go to the lakes, but it doesn't get much hotter than, I'd say, 15, 16 degrees. That's our maximum temperature. So this is a good day. This is summer for us. We're going to come past some more totem poles on the right-hand side. You've got downtown Prince Rupert on the left. That is the city centre. And then on the right-hand side, Service Park, which was put up as a memory to some policemen. We've got another totem poles here, but it's just at a different stage in its life cycle. So different carvings, but nothing maintained. This 4-way stop, these traffic lights have been out for 3.5 years since I got here. So we are an old city. The city's been here for over 100 years. So there's a lot of renovations, but things take time.
Yeah, yes, I noticed that.
How much time does it take to walk all around the city?
All around the city's not very big. So where we went to Roosevelt Park, where we just stopped with the totem poles, by the time we get to Seal Cove, that is the other side of the city. So you will have crossed the city. That's City Hall. So this is downtown Prince Rupert. And if you cross town, I reckon it would take you maybe 2 hours. 2 hours max. And the statue in the middle is Charles Hayes, one of the very few statues we've got to the forefather of Prince Rupert. And then those totem poles are actually growing moss and trees out the top, but they'll just be left. This is downtown Prince Rupert. So all of our Christmas shopping or whatever gets done online, or we go to the neighboring city, which is an hour and a half away. Terrace. Terrace is an hour and a half away. And there's nothing between us and Terrace. There's the Skeena River, the road, and the railway. That's it. If you don't fill up with gas, you don't get there. No, Terrace is on the mainland. So we're on an island, but we're joined to the mainland by a road about 20 kilometers away. Yeah. And the A&W was promised to Prince Rupert for about 40 years, and it got built after more delays about 2 months ago. But there was a queue for 2 hours to get through the drive-through when they opened.
Is it only one food store?
There's Safeway, and then we've got Save on Foods, so there's 2, and there's Drug Shoppers, but 2 main ones.
And one hospital, yeah?
And 1 hospital, yeah. 1 hospital, and the population's about 13,000 people. Yeah. This is now, so where we did Confusion Corner, if we carried on, we'd get to the ferry terminal, and then a marine highway. That's the end of the road. This is the only road out of Prince Rupert. And then it gets very remote, with just forests and forests and forests. So it's really beautiful, and it keeps it protected for us. We get black-tailed deer, as far as the wildlife go, black-tailed deer that come into town, and they're so tame we make jokes that they use the crosswalks. I'll often walk out of my house in the morning, and there's black-tailed deer on the lawn. The wolves do sometimes come in, mostly in winter, because they come in after the black-tailed deer that are seeking protection in town. But we haven't had any issues with wolves. We get eagles, bald eagles that are here for summer, and we often see them over the water. And then the humpback whales and the orcas are in winter more. There's another beautiful Jeff King mural coming up on the left of the wolves. They're probably the only wolves you'll see in town. So these murals, the city commissioned Jeff King to put them up because we get so much rain, so just to brighten things up a little bit. So this whole mural, they were done in 2014, and all the murals you're going to see by Jeff King are done with a spray can. All of those are spray can painted. Okay, we got on the right-hand side is the middle school, and they are redeveloping that and doing renovations and building. And then we've got the Civic Centre on the right. The Civic Centre's got a basketball tournament, and in February every year we host the all-native basketball, and it brings in about 4,000 players from neighbouring villages. They turn the arena into an ice rink in winter, and then we've got an indoor swimming pool, so it's where all the kids hang out. So every city's got an ice hockey team, and ours is the Rupert Rampage, so we'll have ice hockey and everything. But they put it out to the city to choose a mascot for the ice hockey team. So with all the wildlife I've just said, what do you think Prince Rupert chose?
The deer.
A rhinoceros. A rhinoceros, yeah. Weird. There's some more totem poles here. A skate park across the road. And then Prince Rupert is interlinked with nature trails. So there's a lot of nature trails that you can walk through the city and back into the forest and then out. And this is another one of the Jeff King murals. So you've got sea otters, but the little red scar on the adult's nose, that's it's correct because they eat a lot of shellfish, a lot of the clams, and the clam shell scratches its nose. So the little red scar is legit. So he did them very well. And what's awesome is they've been there since 2014, so they've been there for 12 years, and none of them are graffitied throughout town. Yeah, so it's awesome. There's another one of baby otters up in the front. The Leicester Centre of the Arts is like a performing arts centre. So it was originally just called the Performing Arts Centre, but it's got 700 seats. We put a new roof on it 2 years ago. The sound system is fantastic. There's nothing of that standard between here and Vancouver. So it hosts dance competitions, Northern British Columbia dance competitions every year. we have a lot of performing arts that comes out of Prince Rupert, and all the kids in school are members of a band, so they learn a musical instrument too. But Peter Lester was the mayor of